watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Well, hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to a bit of an impromptu episode of Diecast Breakdown. I just was like, hey, David, you available? And he was like, sure, why not? Actually, I just put one in our group chat. I was just like, hey, anyone wants to pop on? This is I'm gonna go live and say hey. We just wanted to give you guys a quick update on things. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to the patrons that make our show go. If you want to join their ranks, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com, and I assure you that you will have better episodes than this one when you partner with us. But shout out to our executive producer level patrons. That would be Jason, Reviews Through Another Lens, Mad Visions, Mike's Mods and Customs. Thank you, Mike. Twice Diecast. Thank you, David. DrivenDreams.org. Thank you, Mark. First and 64th Customs. Thank you, Christian. Video Geek Productions. Thank you, Adam. And Dane Self. Thank you, Dane. And I am not doing this impromptu episode alone. I am joined by my friend, my co-host, my colleague, my partner in crime, Mr. David Johns. How the heck are you today?
Cold, Chuck. It is cold in Alabama.
It is a brisk one. And special shout out to the regulars who are popping in here. We did no promotion of this at all. And I'm seeing Rudy and Eddie and Sean and Pete and
Subi.
Let's see, Subi's in there. What's up, Subi? So David, it's been cold. Football teams are falling like flies. Upsets are happening. But a lot is changing in both the world of Diecast and here at Diecast Media Network. You will probably notice I am not where I used to be. And for those of you who don't know, I have been going through a life transition, if you will. I have been promoted to single in no finer way to point it than that. It's a long story that we don't need to go into, but I have sold my home and I'm moving on. And right now I'm in my temporary studio where I will be setting up shop and figuring out what's next. So you may have noticed things have been a little sporadic lately with posting, and that is mostly due to me trying to get a new job, get a new home, sell my old home, and let's see, lots of other things. Ship my car to Oklahoma. So the Valiant is there for the time being. Buy a new car that will handle the kids. Shout out to my brother for selling me his Jeep Compass to use. It's a good vehicle. The kids enjoy it, and it's a little safer than a 1977 Dodge pickup truck. Or a 64 Plymouth Valiant for that matter. So anyway, yeah, life is happening. Thank you, Eddie. And we are hanging in there is a good way to put it. David has been a wonderful friend. The whole group has been a wonderful friend helping me through this. And I'm grateful to all of them and grateful to you as you've put up with the ups and downs of this crazy little project that we're doing. I kind of wanted to do this episode just to kind of go back in time a little bit and set the stage for those of you who are just joining us or may not know the whole story of, where all this came from, where Diecast Media Network came from and who all's involved. Because I think a lot of people, David, don't understand that there's a lot more to Diecast Media Network than just the three hosts. There's a whole bunch of people involved.
Any team has players you see, players you don't, and of equal import. In fact, probably doing more work than you and I, Chuck.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and it does. It takes a whole team, and believe it or not, Chuck, Mark, and David are the faces that you see, and three guys that love diecast, but none of this would happen without Mark's wife Kimber and Pia and Chuck's brother everybody has played their part. And for literally not even peanut, we are not even paying peanuts. I still have not gotten the first peanut from Chuck.
We're well, the second it stops costing me money is the second that it will start paying you money.
Yeah, no worries there. And Pete, thanks for checking in. We'll see you on the next one. But listen,
Yeah.
I wanted to put this out there to the viewers real quick. You didn't have to say what you just did, but if you hadn't, nobody would have ever known, because you have handled yourself. You carried yourself with class, Chuck. You showed up week after week, and we are all about transparency, viewers and listeners. I love that about Chuck, and really, we're kind of a what you see is what you get kind of group anyway. So we're here. We're here if you are going through life and you ever want to talk to us. We're here for that too.
Sure.
And that's kind of why we're here. I got the vibe from Chuck that, man, he just wanted to hang out, and
Yeah.
I'm so glad that the gang that's here in the chat did the same thing too.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. See you, Pete. Sorry you can't stay, but understand. Appreciate you coming by. So again, hey, Andrew's here from Switzerland.
All the way from Switzerland.
So David, you touched on something that is really the heart of what this project is. When I started this channel in 2020, it was about me finding a way to use the skills that I had from my years in media production. And I wanted to do tutorials on weathering custom diecasts. I thought it was a unique niche. I'm not talented enough to do anything that makes waves in the 124 scale world. But if you take 124 scale skills and you put them in 164 scale, all of a sudden everybody goes, oh, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
So I knew which size pond I wanted to be in, what scale pond I wanted to be in. So, I started the channel in 2020, just like a lot of us did, because, we were all at home and needed something to do. And a few of you have been with us, with me anyway, back when that had first gotten started. And that was where I met David and Mark. We had no formal connections before then. They were just like, I literally just found these guys by like going through searching diecast content. And I followed, once I figured out that people were customizing diecast, I followed every YouTube channel I could find. And I think at the time, David might have done 1 or 2 customs. And I think Mark had done like his polished customs or something. And that's how I found them. And, I found Maple Leaf, Andrew, and a few other people that are doing really cool customs, and thought, oh, well, I'll start doing my own. And so I stole the best pieces of everybody else's videos and lumped them into mine. And that's where Flying Valiant builds came from. And then one day, Mark had started a podcast. I can't even, what was the name of his? I should know the name of his podcast.
Yeah, that's a good one. It might have just been Dots and Man Diecast.
I think it was just Dots and Man Diecast. And, he had this really, really smart idea to start interviewing other content creators. Cause, at the time there were a ton of us. There still are a ton of us. There's more every day, but there's people that are coming and going, and people dip in and dip out. And there's not really a lot of, aside from interacting with the comments and stuff, there wasn't really a lot of community being built on YouTube proper. There was stuff happening in Instagram, stuff happening, especially in the Facebook groups, but there wasn't really, like, as far as YouTube went, there wasn't really a story behind a lot of these people, and Mark had the really good idea to start interviewing other content creators. And I had listened to a few of his episodes, and then he interviewed David one day, and these guys, I really resonated with what they were both talking about. They both were good on mic together. There was some good chemistry there. And I thought, hey, I can piggyback off of this, because I'd been thinking about doing my own podcast. And I was like, well, I can't just do my own take on this, because it would just be copying Mark. And I thought, well, what if we did a multi-host podcast? Thanks, Suey. Appreciate that. And, did basically, my initial idea was Top Gear, but for tiny cars. And that's why some of the earlier episodes were much more involved, much more heavy production. We had an A block, a B block, and a C block, where we'd have our news, and then we'd have our topic of discussion, and then we had our interview segment, and they were these really long episodes. And I loved those episodes. Don't get me wrong. They were miserable to edit, though, super long to edit. And, that was me learning my limitations on what I could do in a week without having a nervous breakdown. And so we pared things back a little bit after that and kind of focused more on the interviews, because that seemed to be the part that people really liked, was the interview side of things, because there's plenty of other places to get your news about diecast and stuff. So and those guys do a great job. But we were sharing, we figured, like, Top Gear does its news, and Top Gear news was like, you don't really get any real news from Top Gear because it was always so behind. And they just kind of, you're listening for their takes on the news. So we wanted to kind of do that. And we still do that with the lives. And thank you, Walmart. I appreciate that. So we kind of set that to the side for more live type content, and then focus more on the interviews and trying to get, and really we just started kind of putting out there, see, if we asked, who could we get? And fortunately, I had been, because of my customizing, I had gotten in pretty good with the folks at Diecast Heroes magazine, Tony and Carmen, who were working with Fireball, and they were, at the time, I believe they've parted ways, but we had them on as guests. I think our first guest was, David. Tell the folks a bit about our first guest was all of you, and you did an on location. That was our first and I think last on location package.
I was so sure, guys. I was so sure that I was going to be the Diecast Breakdown roving reporter to all of these exotic locales, and so I did a trial run at one of my favorite diecast stores, which is no longer, unfortunately, around, Diecast Extreme. Interviewed the owner. We had a great conversation. I had ironed my shirt, Chuck. I was about,
You look crisp.
this was my moment. This was going to be the breakthrough, and undoubtedly we were going to be flying to all exotic locales. But sat down with David, had a great interview, and you see a little clip of that at the very beginning, and it was fun. It really lit a fire inside of me to do what you always set out to do, Chuck, and that is find the story behind why we like these cars. And just like David had a really cool story on why in the world he's in the place in his life where he is buying over 100,000 cars a year. You don't just wake up and do that. There's a lot of A, B, and C before you get to that letter Z. And that was fun. So that was our first episode. We learned a lot, and we learned that, hey, platforms like Riverside and StreamYard are really cool too. You don't have to drive everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's about finding balance. Like done is better than perfect has kind of been the mantra of Diecast Breakdown. And it shows in our work, but y'all don't seem to mind that much, but we try to put as much work into it as we can. But we've all got day jobs. I've got several day jobs currently, and David and Mark have their own, and Mark's running his own business now.
Mark's got about 3 day jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Mark's day job is multiple day jobs. So, we're doing this as we can. And that's not an excuse. That's not us saying, oh, pity us. We're doing this because we love this community, and we love talking to the people in this community and giving them, places to gather and talk about things. Especially with these lives. We got a very nice comment. I wish I should have saved this comment, but it was a guy that said, that thank you for this show. It makes me feel less alone as an adult in this hobby, which was meaningful. That was exactly what I set out to do with this was, and I've said this on many episodes, it can be a very lonely hobby as an adult collecting tiny cars. And you feel like, okay, I'm the weirdo in the Walmart aisle, digging through, everybody's kind of walking around giving you side eye as you're down on your knees looking underneath, trying to see, do you see a treasure hunt under there? Do you see what could be a Zamek? And then when you got multiple adults and we're all kind of sitting around waiting our turns to go, and that's the extent of what some of the interaction can be, other than, hey, kid, get out of my way, or the kid going, hey, old man, get out of my way. So, the fact that we had this opportunity to create this little project and talk to the people, and that was the thing too, is I didn't want it to be just like big time names,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, yeah, how much hubris do you have to be like, oh, I don't want to only interview like big time names, and we started small. David was a popular seller in Alabama, but he's not exactly world renowned, and he would gladly admit to that. But then we got Tony and Carmen doing their magazine and Fireball, and Mark of all things is buddies with the #1 YouTube channel in the topic on the planet with Yogi at
Yogi.
Jakarta Diecast Project, because he was the first patron of Yogi's, and that's just, again, that's just who Mark is. Like, Mark just like resonates with this community so much that he was one of my first, if not the first. I think it was either him or Christian were my first patrons, and he's stuck with us ever since. And he dips in and out, and it's, I'm sure people are like, hey, where's Mark go? Like, it's sometimes a couple episodes between him, but he's still very much with us. We talk to him multiple times a day. We have a group chat that I hope everyone's turned off notifications for, because there's probably 40 or 50 messages on it every day, between all of us. So like David said, there's more than just, Mark, David, and I. Mark's wife, Kimber, has been very involved from day one. She has a marketing and graphic design background, and has helped very early on with scheduling. That's fallen more in David's lap lately, which has been awesome. David's taken that off my plate, which has been huge, and I'm grateful for that. All the design work you see, almost all of it is my brother Justin. I did some of it, but almost all of it is him. He has a master's degree in graphic design. He works for a graphic design and print shop in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we don't hype it up enough, but we do have merch. So anyway, I'm actually wearing one of his designs right now. This really cool Flying Valiant builds thing that he did in the style of Evel Knievel. And you can find all that at diecastbreakdown.com or diecastmedianetwork.com. There's a link to the store that he runs, and he puts in hours and hours of work into these logos and designs that he's done for us. And he gets like $2 each time a shirt sells, and that's that he's the only person that I think is not actively losing money. He's losing time on this for sure. He's putting way more time into this than he should be, for what it is, but he believes in the project too, and these are his people as well. So we appreciate that. And I mean, and Justin's very plugged into the car culture scene too. He is the layout designer for Bronco Driver magazine. He was just at SEMA on behalf of Bronco Driver, and did some work on some handouts and stuff there. He's done stuff with some of the Jeep communities, and just incredibly talented. And somebody wrote a long comment. I want to hit this.
Yeah, that was a good one from Aaron.
Aaron, thank you. Love how it's not all about the latest and greatest overhyped supers and chases anymore. Seems like that's all people are wanting. I collect the older stuff and still really enjoy it. Well, thank you, Aaron. And yeah, that was, another thing we wanted too, was like, it felt like diecast content has gotten to be just a hype machine. And I get it. The algorithm rewards that sort of thing. It's obvious, and how few views we get, how much it rewards the hype beasts and the super hunting and the drama of all that stuff. But we wanted something that was more about the people and more about the why of this hobby. Like, there's so many ways people participate in diecast, whether it's collecting just Hot Wheels or just Matchbox or vintage, like Aaron is talking about, or customizing. People like me who are platform agnostic and are just like, what kind of, what can I make with this? Or, people who only collect JDM cars or the premiums, like what David has really championed lately, and getting getting to know as much as we can behind these mysterious companies that pop out of nowhere and start making really amazingly detailed cars and then disappear into the night. You know,
Mhm.
so you know there was obviously so much story in there that we just really wanted to dive in and just started asking people. People ask us, you know, how do we get these interviews? We just ask them. We email
Yep.
people and we say we've got a show, and we hope that they don't ask how many people are watching.
Yep. No.
And
You know what? You know what I love about the show, Chuck?
Mm.
It just dawned on me when you said that. So I think about our buddy Ron Ruel at the Bottle Car Hall of Fame and our buddy
Mhm.
Christian at Hobby DB. While they are not focusing on the latest and most hyped diecast out there, they are acting as historians for the hobby and cataloging all the people that have come before us. They're putting together a repository for all the diecast information you'll ever want. And what I love about our show, Chuck, is if you want a really good, in-depth conversation with Chris Walker, you have to look pretty hard. But you know,
Mhm.
dadgummit, we're one of the ones that are in there, and we had a conversation with him, and now he's gone. So no one else will have that again. And I'm really thankful that we have some of these long form conversations recorded in a place for collectors who want this information, you know, months, years from now. Here we've given, we've contributed to the betterment of the hobby by chronicling some of this information and giving you a nice, interesting way to find it. Hopefully, you can put up with these three jokers that are doing the interview and really get something out of the person that's being interviewed. And I'm just really proud of the project, Chuck. So uh, I don't know why I wanted to share that, but that's what keeps us going. We, you know, and to your point of it doesn't have to be Jay Leno or someone else who has a big name. You know, stories are stories and they're interesting, and that we can all relate to everybody. And I can relate to David at Diecast Extreme in episode 1 as much as I can Brendan Vatuski at Hot Wheels, and you can get something from each.
Mhm.
And there's really not a big name, you know, we think there is, but everybody has equal value here at
Mhm.
DMN. Um, and just thrilled to bring that to you guys. And that's why, thankfully, though it may not seem like it all the time, there's endless content out there because all you guys are interesting. All you guys have stories, and hopefully we get to all of y'all one day. But we'll never run out of interesting topics
Mhm.
to bring you on the show.
Oh, well said, David. And that reminded me, hey, I put the link in chat for the vote for the Model Car Hall of Fame. Can you believe we actually got nominated for
Insane.
Content Creator of the Year?
Yeah.
It's like Lamley and Diecast Dude and us, you know, and
You
Fireball.
know, do you know Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Yeah.
So we're Glass Joe taking on
Mhm.
Tyson and Bull and all those other heavies.
Yeah. No,
That's all right.
it wasn't Glass Joe. What was his name? Glass Joe was the first guy that you beat.
No, that's who we are. We're Glass Joe.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. We're
Yeah.
punching above our weight.
We are punching above our weight. That's true. And Andrew, I appreciate the comment. You guys had a winning show from the get-go. Always a treat to drop in. Thank you, Andrew. He's been a
Yeah,
long
thank you,
time patron
Andrew.
of the show as well. And you know, Sean had a good comment earlier. It's not just the castings for me, it's about the people who love them, the customs they make, and the stories they have to tell. That's why I like the stories there are to tell. And that's
Amen.
exactly, you know, that's exactly what this is about. This is us going, you know, what is it like to be a first time creator on YouTube? What is it like to be a diecast design legend? What's it like to live in a house that's a museum to Matchbox? You
Yeah.
know, these are very interesting people, and they're very nuanced stories. And you don't, like you said, David, you don't just wake up one day and go, I'm going to buy 100,000 cars, or you don't wake up one day and go, I'm going to have the #1 YouTube channel on diecast in the world and have more subscribers than Hot Wheels does. you know, um, that's effort, that's time, and that's a story that most people will never hear. So we're grateful for the folks that have stuck with us on that and listened to the stories and have commented and shared, and that means a lot. And and we're gaining momentum slowly, as we've mentioned before. Pia Mad Visions, you've seen him on the show. You see him doing his little shout out in the middle of every second commercial break. And he's there intentionally, because he's a very talented customizer. He's a great painter. He's a great friend of the show. And if you see a community post on here, it's probably Pia, or we all make posts. We all have admin privileges here. Everybody has the same access that everybody else does. I started the channel, but I very much want it to be something that if David makes his review videos and posts them, and if Pia wants to make a video and post it, or I think Derek, Honest Diecast, is kind of our fifth Beatle kind of situation. Yep. Where he's done stuff for us and shown up in real big ways and promoted it, and champions of the show like Dan at Diecast Dude, who shares us all the time, which is amazing, and he's a super great guy. We really appreciate him. But yeah, so when I mentioned, if you want to be a part of the team, we are serious about that. We're looking for, and again, we're not doing anything too fancy. We have pretty basic rules here, no religion or politics or any of that stuff. We're just talking tiny cars, and you can bring your flair to it. But that was something that I also had as a plan for this channel, was that if somebody wanted to make content but didn't want to do it regularly, or didn't want to go through the hassle of creating their own YouTube channel and doing all of the descriptions and all that stuff, that if they wanted to make a video every few months or something, they could do it and come in here and post it, and we would review it, and and then give them a chance to make their voice heard. It's something that I would really like to see in 2025 for this channel as it grows. People being able to post their video, and we're not going to pay you. We can't pay you, because
you get paid as much as I do.
Yeah, we're all running net negative right now, so you'll probably be doing better than us if we just don't pay you. So that's kind of, again, we just wanted it to be kind of this community thing. I envisioned it being like the reason why it's called Diecast Media Network is I wanted it to be like a TV network. Like, you have different shows, and throughout the day you'd have different programming on, and it's made by different people. So if somebody wanted to do a news show, or someone wanted to do a custom show, they could do that. And it's kind of evolving from there, and we appreciate that.
And please reach out if that's something that, say you've been wanting to make some videos, you don't want to go to the hassle of managing a channel, keeping up, or feel like you can't make enough content to keep it current. If you want to make a weird little review video, and I say weird, just lack of a better word, over some obscure brand that you don't see often, but you can't make 50 videos about it, and you might want to make one, hit us up. We would love to talk about that, maybe put it on the channel. You got the benefit of having a lot of viewers. We could, however we'll just have a conversation. And if you would like to contribute and make this into something really cool, even cooler, please reach out. It is a lot of work to keep up a channel. So if you don't want to do it, but you want to make some videos and put it on a channel that's got lots of viewers, we'll be more than happy to see what we can do.
Sure. And we've been told that is not the best way to do a YouTube channel. You want to have one specific thing and stick with it. But again, this isn't about us rocketing to the top of the charts. We know that there are channels that can grow and do things differently we're more interested in getting people to contribute, getting people to document their process. And again, yes, the EMP could go off tomorrow and wipe YouTube completely clean. But, for the time being, so much stuff is being done and made and created and just disappearing. And, we had that with Chris Walker passing very shortly after we had him on. And we were so grateful that we were able to make that interview happen and, have these moments like, because there aren't many times that you can get Larry Wood to sit down for an hour and just ramble. And, not that it was a ramble, like he had great stories. You can tell he's, a pro at being interviewed. He's been interviewed probably hundreds, if not thousands of times. So he's got all his stories locked and loaded, but, to have them all in one place or to, get behind the scenes of what Castheads magazine is made of. And that's another one too, is Nigel over at Castheads magazine has been a huge advocate. He and Tony and Carmen have both given us free publicity in their magazines, which is super cool and amazing. And that's why there's ads for them. They don't pay us for those, but they are there because we appreciate what they're doing for us, and we're returning the favor as much as we can. And thank you everybody who's voted. And Walmart, completely understand. I would have voted for Dan too. So we love Diecast dude. And again, talk about people going against type, like somebody who has 80,000 subscribers and does not own a computer. He just does it all on his phone, and there's very minimal edits.
He's breaking the algorithm.
Exactly, just stream of consciousness, but doing very cool things and showing us a world that is very hard to access. Not everybody can pop over to the Netherlands and go to Tom's Model Auto or however. No, Martine's got me like super self-conscious about how I say that.
Just Americanize it.
Yeah, exactly. Tom's Model Auto. There we go. So let's see. There that was kind of the main point of this episode, was just kind of let people know where we're at. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned for 2025. We are at Diecast SuperCon.
Vegas, baby.
Yes. So ideally all three of us will be there. I've got a few things to iron out, but I'm 90% sure I'm going. And David and Mark are going, and we're thrilled with the opportunity that they've provided us to kind of be the unofficial official streamers of the show. And I never thought I would have my mug plastered next to the cast of the Dukes of Hazzard as a special guest appearance.
There you go.
That's hysterical. There's something that I want to go back in time and be like, hey, Tiny Chuck, you're not going to believe this. But you and the Duke boys are getting posted in the same event. That's pretty wild. So anyway, go ahead, Dave.
I'm a little curious if someone wants to jump in, and guys, I'm asking you two right now to participate. We love interviews. We love doing them, and they make for great episodes, and you guys love them. So we're obviously going to keep doing that, but I am curious your thoughts on the live episodes. Would you like more of those? Would you like half and half? Do you like the interaction? We love chatting with you guys, just like we're doing right now. The lives provide us opportunities to do some fun giveaways sometimes. So what are your thoughts on how we look in 25? Not that we are going to blow everything up and start from scratch, but if there's something that we can easily do as far as changes go, then we want to hear from you. And that's we always crave your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So if the lives are really, really enjoyable, let us know. We'll keep yammering away, and while you guys are responding.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know Rico would like us to just talk about 1997 Toyota Paseo convertibles every episode.
Convertibles, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that we definitely want to know more of. And you know, you may have noticed a lot of our lives lately, we've had Nigel on from Cast Heads, and that's kind of we're exploring a deeper partnership with Cast Heads, since they have their, you know, more written wing, and we have our video wing, and they don't really do much with video, and we don't do much with writing. And you know, if time opens up, you might see some articles from either of us, or you know, somebody else from the Diecast Media Network team writing articles for Cast Heads magazine, which would be really cool. Right now I'm just kind of working on getting to where I can have you know, my studio set up. I was 2 minutes before going live looking for a microphone cable. So you know, I'm you know, we're here. That's the thing.
It's work in progress.
It's a work in progress. So, you know, we're looking at exploring some different options in formatting, doing lives that are more focused on news, maybe having a Chuck and David rant session videos that would be a little shorter, that would be more us really breaking down a particular topic, or you know, talking about something that's really kind of making waves in the diecast world that doesn't need a guest, or just has more community interaction. So you know, we're eager to hear ideas. So if something, you know, wakes you up in the middle of the night and you're like, they should do this, you know, email diecastbreakdown@gmail.com and we'll read it, and we'd be grateful for the input for sure. So as we're going into, you know, 2025, we're excited. We've got, you know, some pretty cool names in the hopper that we're going to be able to have access to and have on the show. So, you know, everybody who is, you know, subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't yet, and for some reason this weird episode is compelling you to, please feel free to subscribe and follow along. But
best decision you'll ever make.
Because you never know what you're going to get. You could be an episode like this, or we could be interviewing a diecast legend like Mike Zarnock or Larry Wood or Brendan Vituski. And you know, so those are things that we're looking to do more of. I'm hoping, you know, as things settle down a little bit more for me, I can get back to even doing a couple of custom videos, and doing some more of the stuff that we were working on beforehand, before everything got so chaotic. But it's you know, that's part of life. And you know, it's been kind of revealing to me, because I, you know, a lot of us, I think I'm not alone in saying that, you know, we all kind of think it would be super cool to just get paid to have an opinion about tiny cars, or to, you know, to be that expert, to be the one person that breaks through and becomes a professional YouTube star on Diecast. And you know, through this process, it's been incredibly rewarding, and at the same time, I think revealing that there's a reason why nobody has already done that, and why it probably won't be us. But it's you know, again, not deterred us from continuing to make videos, continuing to do this thing, because you know, it's still a lot of fun. It's still a really cool way to be involved and to talk to some really interesting people. So you know, we're going to keep doing it as long as we can. And you'll see a lot more from Diecast Media Network, hopefully in 2025. You know, using this time when I don't have the kids with me to really start setting things up here to focus on the show proper, and you know, do some extra upgrades and change out some graphics and update a few things. But for right now, bear with us. You know, things are gonna probably look pretty similar, and there's going to be some. We're going to be trying to continue to post every week. And sometimes we will, and sometimes we won't. And sometimes you get weird episodes like this where we just kind of ramble about the state of our lives. But
well, I mean, you know, it's a chance to kind of unwind it. Look, it's been a full year. We were, you know, trying to get folks lined up all year long. A lot of times this time of year, people are just not interested in doing much other than the bare minimum. You know, work is winding down for the year. We got the holidays, people are traveling. So you guys will probably see a couple lives in December, maybe a compilation, like a best of from this past season, or other seasons. because we do have families and we want to spend the holidays with them, and maybe not lining up interviews and interviewing and editing. So if you guys will just give us a little bit of grace there, we're going to bring you content, but we do have families as well. Um, so we will absolutely be flying out of the gate at the beginning of January. So no worries there.
Hey, shout out, by the way, to the people over in Instagram. We don't always see your comments. I have to pop over to Instagram to see it because it doesn't show up in StreamYard. But yeah, Rock Kicker Diecast said he wouldn't mind connecting with us. He does unique art with diecasts, and yeah, I'm just
We'd
looking
love
at
it. Come on.
Absolutely. So yeah, he's doing some really cool artwork with tiny cars. So yeah, go check him out. He does not have nearly enough followers for what he's doing. This is really cool stuff. So rockkicker.diecast. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat here. So
and mention it too in case you're listening on the audio. How do they get in touch with Diecast Media Network, Chuck?
Oh, so Diecast Media Network, if you want to be a guest on the show, you can email diecastbreakdown@gmail.com or diecastmedianetwork@gmail.com, because I went a little overzealous when we came up with these ideas, and got every social media and every email locked down that I could. But yeah, and again, that's why, another confusing thing people ask is, well, why didn't you just call the whole channel Diecast Breakdown? And that's because Diecast Breakdown is a show on Diecast Media Network, just like Bones was a show on Fox. I don't know why I picked Bones.
Yeah, but that was a deep pull right there.
Like Top Gear is on BBC would have been a smarter
there
thing
you
to
go.
do. Why did I go with Bones? Oh my gosh. So yeah, again, just kind of feeding into, we wanted this, when I started the channel and called it Flying Valiant, like that was very limiting. Like, it was like, okay, well, Flying Valiant was supposed to be about my car, and then it was about builds. And then, I was like, well, if we're going to grow this thing, we don't want it to just be called Flying Valiant because nobody knows what that is. So what is it? And originally it was going to be the Diecast Podcast Network, because we were going to do a podcast. And then I was like, oh, we could do other podcasts. And then I was like, no, go bigger. Diecast Media Network. So that's about as big as it gets. The screensavers on G4 TV, Rico, that is a good example. So yeah, that was a great show, by the way. So I was originally, thank you for joining me, David, because if I wasn't with David, I would have been unboxing the cars that I got for my birthday from my brother. But I did want to show this off. It's the M2 1987 Regal. Look at this thing. It is not a Grand National. It is a straight up Regal.
So what is this? Who made that?
This is M2 of all things.
Okay. All right.
Look at this very simple packaging.
Yep.
It looks a lot like the mysterious Asian brands that just kind of come out of nowhere.
Sure does. Are you going to leave that in the box, or are you going to eventually crack it?
I kind of want to crack it, but at the same time, it's such a cool box because it's so basic, and and I know this one's really hard to find.
Yeah.
My brother found it at a shop in Tennessee. He was like, it's $12, and I was like, get it, it's absolutely worth that. So yeah. He also got me this 89 Ram D350 dually, which is pretty cool.
You've got a question about the packaging on the M2. Go back to that.
What does it say in the background? Is a good question, Automotive History Through Diecast, because it looks very weird. An uncommon amount of intelligence displayed in a very regal fashion. That is a long.
That sounds like you, Chuck.
Thank you.
And on your name tag.
I am quite regal at times. So, all right. Well, let's see what else we got in here, so we can talk a little bit about.
We're going full unboxing.
So let's see. We got a few cool fantasies in here early on. We got the some loose Hot Wheels VW, the Volvo drift car, and this one's just a fun one, the Volvo 240. But yeah, I started going through these and I was like, oh, I should unbox these. Thank you, Rico. The ubiquitous 510. You can never have too many 510s. because invariably somebody's going to want to customize them. This one's interesting. It's from Jada, and it says TV repair and installation services on it. It's a Ford Econo line. It's kind of slammed and has big rims on it. Very Louis Tanahara in a lot of ways. What's funny to me is this one says on the bottom scale 164, and it is definitely not 164. Look at this thing; it's huge. Here's it next to the Hot Wheels 510, which is actually big for 164 scale, and it's big by comparison to that. So definitely a little bit bigger than 164, but that's fine. I still think it's cool, and I like cars with TV related stuff, TV stations and stuff, because I used to work in television. The old Trouble Decker TV repair van is money. I agree, Rico. So let's see what else we got in here. David, you found anything good lately?
I did grab a box of. I had a buddy place an order for Oz Wheels about 6 months ago because I like their season 2 factory spec version, and I have opened up the classic streetcar versions already, and some of you guys will like these, but they also do what they call this slammed edition, where they've kind of got what they did on that repair truck, but they've taken these Aussie vehicles and slammed them. And these guys have really good wheels. They don't have any interior. Jesse told us that in the interview, Jesse Marios of Oz Wheels, but they are hefty. They're weighty vehicles. They have really good wheels. And it's really cool to see these Australian vehicles I'm not familiar with, but also customized. Those guys are insane with their car culture over there.
Oh, yeah.
Here is, what is this, a Commodore, I think, maybe? I can't even see it.
Holden Calais, something.
Calais, that's it. But this is slammed. So on this series 2, it's 12 vehicles, Chuck. You get 6 streetcar versions like I like, and then you get 6 slammed versions. Look at this wildness. That kind of goes along with that one. Kind of looks like that one.
This is the Hot Wheels AMC Rebel, which is a great casting. That is great. I love that era Falcon from the European and Australian versions. So shout out to the Godfather, by the way, for being here. Hey, Eddie P.
Look at the beacons on that.
That's great.
Those
very,
are some
very lensed. I got some Playing Mantis era Johnny Lightning here. I got like a 67 66 Dodge Charger. I got a 95 Caprice with some very nice lensed beacons in there too.
See what you think about this one. This Sandman panel.
Oh, that's neat. With the airbrushing on the side.
Crazy airbrushing on it.
That is awesome.
So well done to Oz Wheels, giving Aussie collectors something to be proud of.
There's an old Pro Street Camaro. Too bad Pete's not here.
Johnny Lightning?
Yep, Playing Mantis era Johnny Lightning. That was, I kind of collected that during that time. Justin did too. He was a member of the club way back when. Older Hot Wheels, looks kind of like a Camaro IMSA type car. But he's just kind of giving me a huge box of things. Well, those Oz Wheels are cool, and now that I'm starting to make some headway again, and once I get the house sold, I am going to buy a case of those because the Oz Wheels are super cool, and I know some people complain about them not having interiors, but hey, I understand.
We have good news. The new ones should have interiors. That's what I'm heard.
That, and that is exciting, as they've been doing really well, and I'm glad for them. Got some more Johnny Lightning here. This is I forget what these are called. They're not zingers, but with the missing hood and the engine.
Are they not?
No, the zingers are all jacked up, like they've got a huge rake on them. But
Yeah.
these ones, they usually have like a gumball style number on them, no hood. And these motors are actually die-cast metal. They're not plastic. So they are
Oh.
nice and weighty. And then you guys, this GTO here, oh man, I wish it'll come back to me. It's not the Street Freaks, but oh, this is cool. Is this the Hot Wheels? No, this is the Johnny Lightning 71 Elco. Got some nice rubber BF Goodrich radial TAs on that.
What a wild base. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at it, sir. It's almost mirror finished. So 71 El Camino, Playing Mantis. There are a lot of Johnny Lightnings in here. This is a 65 GTO, looks like 65. Yeah.
And we need the chat to chime
67.
in with cool stuff y'all have found too. Let us know what you
let
found.
us know. So these are the Playing Mantis era Johnny Lightnings. One of the big strikes against them was they had this A pillar, the vent windows. At the time, they didn't really have the tech to do that opening without that super thin piece, breaking. So they would just fill them in. And we've talked with Chad Reed about that. He's been another good friend of the show. Round 2 has been really awesome with us as far as giving us exclusives like that really cool Fiero. If you haven't checked out that episode, go back and do it for sure. So, hey, Cody.
Foamy Head, are you saying that line was called the Spoilers?
Yes, spoilers. That's correct.
Good
Thank
call.
you very much,
Good call.
Foamy Head. What is this one? This one's a Matchbox. Alfa Romeo Julia.
Julia.
Is that a new casting or an old casting? I don't recognize that.
It's pretty old. Yeah, it's
yeah.
I mean, they've had that one. I think they had that in the best of Matchbox back in the day.
Yeah. I love how Matchbox still, it's 2006. So Matchbox still puts the scale on there. So it's 159th scale.
How about Jody? Jody found a Super Chase at O'Reilly's. That's
amazing.
That's quite a find.
Nobody finds Matchbox Super Chases. Oh, I was at O'Reilly's today dropping off some old oil. And I asked them, I had the temerity, the audacity to ask them if they had any of those M2 Christmas ornament things. And the lady laughed in my face. And she was like, yeah, we got one of them in and I've already got it up on eBay. I was like, wow, okay. They were just like, she was like, as soon as they come in, the employees fight for them and then just sell them on eBay. Okay. And that is the part of the hobby that is kind of disappointing. That's the part that makes me go, why are we doing this? But did anybody else get the Pizza Planet, not Pizza Planet truck that Diecast Talk did with the Toyota extended cab? I was able to get one of the clean and the dirty ones. That thing is sweet. That's a great casting. I have it for the Marty McFly casting, but it's here's another one of those Jada 71 Chevelles that says, again, the audacity to say this is 1/64 scale.
Look at the rear end on that girl.
Huge. Yeah. Wow.
Thick.
Yes, indeed. So that's kind of a disappointing thing because I was hoping to kind of get some of those Dodge pickups. This is one that Xavier over at Diecast Show Customs would like. So this is old Johnny Lightning Speed Rebels. This is the Roadrunner Superbird. Roadrunner Superbird. So the thing that a lot of people don't notice, I didn't even notice this until recently, is that these older Johnny Lightnings, the ones that were built for racing, have ridges on the inside. And I never really thought about it. I always thought that was some kind of mold thing or something like a casting thing. And it's actually to make it so that these cars actually ride on just this little tiny rim. And it looks like it's rolling on, the wide part of the wheels. But unlike in motorized racing, the wider the tire, the more surface area and the more friction. So you want as little friction as possible. So Johnny Lightning,
don't tell all of Xavier's secrets.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Speed rings. Thank you, Xavier. I had a feeling he might be lurking in the comments there. It's good to have you here. We got some more Hot Wheels. We got the Dodge Van, which is a very cool one. They made a premium version of this one this year that I was able to get. And like that one,
Tarmac has a really cool version of that too.
They do. Theirs is brilliant. I love theirs. This is a very weighty, older Hot Wheels casting, 70 Chevelle. I think it's 70. Yep, 1970 Chevelle SS, metal body, metal base car. It's just like, wow, these things used to be heavy. So another metal car. This little, is it something Roadster, Deuce Roadster. Kind of a Zamek finish Ford with the cool louvered rumble seat thing in the back. Yeah, less rolling resistance is automotive history through Diecast. Racer's Edge wheels, says Rico. Yes. So you can actually, we have, Xavier, we have campaigned every time we talk to Chad, we go, hey, dude, can you
wheel sets,
wheel sets again? And, even WW replicas. This one's another fun one. This is the Nissan Maxima drift wagon that came out this year with the clear roof. Was it this year or last year? I think it was this year. And what's funny about this is my adopted grandparents, who Chet, my son, is named after my adopted grandfather, but they had an 87 Nissan Maxima wagon that looked very similar to this in a stock configuration that we actually ended up with and drove for a while. So once again, somebody else in my family getting a diecast car that I think I have yet to have any of my cars that I've owned in 1/64 scale diecast actually surface, but like my parents have had them, my grandparents have had them, my adopted grandparents have had them, my brother has had them. He's got a Jeep Renegade, so he's got one that's even exactly in his color. This is a great one. I had this one as a kid. This is again this is the Roadrunner Superbird, I think. No, this is the Daytona. Great Hot Wheels casting done up with a fighter jet type theme to it. Love that. With the if there was ever a car for the shark grill or the shark paint job. Now this one's special. This is the little red wagon. Wheel stander car that would have had the Hemi in the back. Unfortunately, the Hemi is missing from this one, but other than that, it's in great shape. This is a Johnny Lightning playing a Mantis era car. So this car I've actually seen in person because it used to be at Don Garlett's museum here in Ocala, just down the road from me. And so it used to be, as you would walk into the Museum of Drag Racing, it would be up on its wheels, bearing down on you as you came in the front door. So, but apparently things fell out between Maverick and Don, and Maverick took the car back. This is another great one. This is that Mercury Cyclone from Johnny Lightning. This is a newer casting of theirs. It still says playing Mantis on it, but it's still much better casting, much better scale. It's still a little small for 1/64, but
real quick, everybody, tell us your favorite release or casting in 25, new casting in 25, favorite new casting that came out this year.
That's a good one. We're going to be talking our best ofs in a future live coming up here. And
you got quite the birthday present, Chuck.
I know. This is a big box, by the way. So I may not even be able to get through all of these. I'm going to just go pretty quick. Here's a Johnny Lightning. This is a really cool one. It's Model A Ford. Great casting. You got the white wall wheels. These are, real rider type things. The Firebird, 70 Firebird from Hot Wheels. We'll go through the mainline ones pretty quick. Matchbox Jeep.
That's a good one, Rico.
Porsche 904 GTS is a beautiful casting. Yeah, the Jaguar that they did, the Mark I Jaguar, and I don't even think it's a new casting because it didn't say new for this year on the box. There's another spoiler. That is the Ford Torino. Again, with the these by the lack of the hood, the die-cast engine, and the gumball on the side, and a metallic paint job. Johnny Lightning is an old 442. Toy Story big car from actually that's not even from Toy Story. This is from Cars, from the scene in the end when they had all the movies done up as Cars. That is an interesting franchise. They have done, it's crazy because we talked to Chad Reed, and each new casting is about like $100,000 to make happen. And you think about how many castings there are in the Cars lineup, like hundreds, if not thousands.
Yeah. No, I think their intent is exclusively to frustrate collectors.
Right. And then so many different paint variants too. Elite 64 yellow Land Rover is a great one. That one, all the accessories on it. It's an old school. That's almost Blackwell era, but it's an ultra hot.
Oh, 380.
Mercedes. Yeah, 380 with the sparkle paint job. That's from my era. Oh, this
Jeez,
one's
yeah,
a nice one. This one's
way back.
Yeah,
Oh,
Johnny
that is
Lightning
a
Triumph.
British Invasion series from way back in the day.
Yeah, and this thing is huge for 1/64 scale because this thing would be like
they are.
It feels like it should be almost half this size. It's a great casting though. A lot of detail in it, and an opening hood. I'm sorry to the audio people who are having to listen to us and listen to all this rustling. Oh, this is fun because Justin was just at SEMA. It's the SEMA 2000. Looks like it's missing the rumble seat, but there's a Ford that's done up salt flat style with the canards on the back for the aerodynamics. That's cool. Rubber tires on that one. A lot of Johnny Lightnings in here. 1970 Firebird.
So where did he find all these Johnny Lightnings?
Well, Justin goes there's a lot of antique shops in Knoxville area and Pigeon Forge, and a lot of these loose ones end up pretty cheap. There's Doug's headers. This is that same casting again, the wheel stander, and it's got the engine in it. So I might pop the engine out of that one and put it in the little red wagon. Not the little red. Is it little red wagon? Yeah. Matchbox.
Little Mini Cooper.
Mini that's not so mini. It's pretty big. Old Circuit City NASCAR. I don't really do NASCAR cars, but I do like to poach their wheels and stuff because it's a cheap way to get some rubber tires because everybody's looking to get rid of their NASCAR collections. Apparently, there was this time about 15 years ago where NASCAR diecast was huge, and I completely missed out on that. Thank goodness. Not a huge NASCAR guy by any stretch. Another Johnny Lightning Challenger. That's a Challenger, right? Yeah. Oh, this is neat. Greenlight XJ Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah, nice.
Red and black. Love that. That's nice. Greenlight is an interesting one for me. I really want to get them on. Now, here's a zinger, David. This is a zinger.
Yep.
So you can tell with the ridiculous, the engine's much higher, crazy wheels, ladder bars, very cartoonish, almost a cartooned before cartooned type thing. So a lot of different racing cars used similar castings and different paint jobs. Yeah, that's true. They did. But, like you think about all the different versions of Lightning McQueen that they have. I'm seeing a roof rack on here. So, look at this. This is that casting of 2023. I think we called this one was the Auto World Caravan / Voyager, and this is the one that Chad likes with the maroon interior exterior that you can smell the decaying cloth on on the inside of that thing. That flocked cloth that they had. This is a Racing Champions 65 Mustang.
I had that one, but
this one, this one is one of those ones that you can tell it was kind of before they really were doing much with computers, and the proportions on this one are quaint.
Yeah,
they're that way.
I sent my version to Jason at Mustang Hunter.
Yeah,
just did not have a place in my collection anymore.
Here's an old Playing Mantis Johnny Lightning Corvette, Mr. Corvette. Looks like a 57, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. 1996 era. Again, the proportions definitely have improved significantly in the last, can't believe I'm about to say 30 years for something from 1996. But all right, we're getting down to the packaged stuff, so this should go a lot quicker. But we're almost there. So let's see. Oh, I'm seeing an International Scout 2 from Johnny Lightning.
Okay,
it's a great casting.
I didn't know they did that. Oh yeah, I guess they do. They do now. Now that I think about it.
So they have the Scout 2. Greenlight has the Scout 1.
All right.
And I appreciate that they got the forward folding hood on this one. Correct. We got some. Oh, this is a classic Matchbox Mr. Two.
Wow. Celica?
No,
Is that what it is?
this is an MR2.
MR2. Okay.
MR not MR2. Oh, what's an interesting? That's the Ford GT. I think this is a Hot Wheels. Yeah,
Funky
or
prototype.
or GTX prototype looking thing. So there's a and Justin just gets like people give him cars, and we had keep an eye out for Fast Fish. This is actually a really good on the track car. Keep an eye out for Nestor Espinoza, guest on the show, because he's got a 1/8 scale Ferrari Testarossa that someone gave me of all things, and he's going to do some cool stuff with it. There's the 65 GTO there, 64 GTO, Johnny Lightning again. So that's going to be a really cool video that he's done, and you'll see me making a guest appearance on that one as well. I'm very eager to see what he does with that. Oh, here's a real funky Johnny Lightning.
What in the world?
It's called.
Let's see the profile of that.
Custom turbine. So very 1960s style.
Yeah. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So this would have been before they had licenses and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. So this would have been, let's see, 1994, I think, when they were kind of trying to do the whole like retro thing. And it fooled me as a kid. I thought that Johnny Lightning had been around forever and ever, and they really hadn't. But they had that cool vintage Hot Wheels look to them.
Sean says it's like the Chrysler turbine car.
It is like the Chrysler turbine car. Yeah. Well, here's an interesting one. This is Johnny Lightning El Camino funny car that opens backwards.
Look at that.
And it's themed to Super Smash Brothers. That's fun. And this was one of my favorite castings from last year, the AMC Concorde Eagle. Is it the Concorde or the Eagle? No, it's the Eagle. Kind of the prototype of the American SUV world, where it's not really a truck and it's not really a car, but it has some off-road capabilities, and now they don't even have off-road capabilities anymore. Some more Jada, split window Corvette. Nice casting. Big old thing.
Chungus.
Big Chungus. These massive Jada castings. Oh, there's another one. Painting company. T1.
T1.
Was it T1 or T2?
I don't know.
I think T1 was Transporter 1, and then the next generation was T2.
Rudy Moons, can you clarify?
Yeah. We need a Johnny Lightning branded track. We do. Speaking of tracks, I think Sean and the gang are gonna make me buy a slot car track, because they just announced this Blues Brothers track that's coming out. Here's another Jada. This one's got Lewis all over it. Milk home delivery very much looks like the dairy delivery Hot Wheels car, but isn't. So that feels like him doing his thing where he likes to poke a little fun at stuff. Old Matchbox Tiki van. That's fun. We're almost there. Hot Wheels motorbike. T2. Thank you, Rico. And we got, this is neat. This is from the ad series from Greenlight. This is the 1989 Ford Taurus. Yeah. Look at that. So beige. So
I waited for that version. They put out so many. It seemed like 3 or 4 versions before they gave us a clean one. Like
they had the
RoboCop teased you.
Yeah, the RoboCop they did a lot of different ways. This is the Gold Rush 82 D150 Prospector. Love that they did this casting. I'm hoping they've got the Trail Duster and the Ram Charger. I'm hoping that they will do the tin grill trucks. Now they kind of have something close. The 72 to 81 trucks. So another 89 D350. That's cool. We got our friend Kit, Knight Rider. It's a great casting from Hot Wheels Premium. I saw that
Mm.
we're going to get a Flames version of the kit mainline, which is fun because that is actually from an episode of Knight Rider where he had to go undercover as a race car, and so they hid Kit by putting flames on him. It's a
Incognito
great,
mode.
great casting. The Toyota AE86 from Hot Wheels for the Fast and the Furious line because everything's got to be tied back to Fast and Furious. This is cool. Honor of Mark. This is the M2
Yeah.
Datsun. Datsun Sunny or just Datsun pickup. It's got a really cool, monochrome, monotone blue line, very 70s. Another 86 because I like to have doubles. 78 Ford Escort. That's a great one. This rally car. This one I'm really digging. This is the 87 Chevy Caprice from Fast and Furious with it's very NASCAR inspired with the support bars and the wide tires and wheels. And I just really liked the look of this car. I wish it had been used more in the movie. And look at this one. Are you forced to police users who don't take security seriously? Computer Associates. So this would have been a promotional car. It says on the back, CA Unicenters single sign-on instantly solves your biggest security problem.
Oh my
So
gosh.
this is
That's IT security.
It's a promotional vehicle for. So this would have probably been something that was given at a trade show. And I love that they have a whole line of cars that you could collect on it. Collect all 5 CA Unicenter vehicles and drive your systems into the future. There's like a police car, a tank, a fire engine, like a commercial truck, and a Jeep with a hardtop. And this is those no-name cars. So this would have been like a Dodge Monaco police car, knockoff thing. But look at that packaging. Isn't that great? That might be one I have to keep in the package because that's just so.
Oh, you 100% have to keep that.
Yeah, the packaging is what makes that cool. Copyright 1995. So, you got that nice flat CRT monitor there. Yeah. Another Caprice. And, we'll go out on the Racer's Edge 97 Ford F-150. That's a great one. So, all right. Well, that was longer than I thought it was going to be. Sorry about that, everybody. Thanks for sticking around through that, David. So we're gonna wrap this up here because we're going a little long. But thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, wherever you are. Appreciate you being here, and hopefully you'll be around and punch the subscribe button so you'll be back when we have some more content for you. It's a little more than just Chuck and David reminiscing about how we got to where we are. But we appreciate you being here, and of course appreciate the patrons that make the show go. If you want to join the ranks, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com. And again, drivendreams.org. Check it out. I know Mark is a little behind schedule from where he wants to be with the Diecast Day of Giving. So, if you haven't yet, report your cars to him. Or go out and buy some and donate them to your local Toys for Tots or Salvation Army or Children's Hospital or Food Bank, and just tally those numbers up. And, I went with a toy drive that my church is doing. A lot of churches doing that. There's even, I've seen stores like there's a florist shop in town that has a Toys for Tots sign out in front of it. So you can just drop those off in there. It's very easy. And, so help that out. One car equals one smile. And we want to keep the momentum rolling on that and continue to grow that because now the brands are starting to notice and we want the brands to kick in as well.
Yep.
So David, of course, check him out over at Twice Diecast. David, you got anything you want to talk about and promote before we wrap things up?
Stay safe traveling. We got holidays coming up, guys. We look forward to, if you disappear for a few weeks while you're hanging out with your fam, that's cool. We will pick you up in the new year, but we will definitely be here until then. If you get bored on Sunday, we love being here.
Yep, we'll be around. So as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So until next time, catchphrase sign off. All right. It's not done. Is it done?
We're still live.